right, now let's get busy so we can get out.
The president has solved like 7 conflicts this year. I'm willing to give him some latitude to talk to Vladimir Putin and break the deadlock and try to move us toward a place where the killing comes to an end, because I think that's what we should all be praying for.
Absolutely, except the Democrats and the neocons. They want this mess to continue until, I guess, the last Ukrainian is standing. Now, you would think that after watching how Trump negotiates and his heart, you could tell Trump's heart is not in war. He really wants to save lives. He really wants to stop folks from dying. The source of his behavior is innocent, pure, and noble. But they want to go ahead and question it. They can't just celebrate Trump actually wanting to cease all of these wars and stuff like that, especially if it makes him look good. So here comes the lamestream media, and they send a black lady out here with blonde hair. Is she trying to be white? Is she trying to be Sydney Sweeney? That's what I'm wondering. What's up with the blonde hair? But they send this lady out here who is just a hater for nothing. And so Scott's going to have to go ahead and check her.
He actually hasn't solved 7 conflicts. There's been a lot of talk about that.
Well, what reality do you live in? He's literally got these guys in the White House where they're signing documents and shaking hands.
Yeah, but that don't count. Yeah, what reality are these people living? Oh, it's the TDS reality. That's what it is. It's the reality that says, you know what? I don't care what Trump does, what his intentions are, how good and noble his intentions may be, even his efforts to resolve wars and conflicts. They don't even want that. Anything that Trump does, they got to always assign a seedy motive. And if he does something, then they got to throw some question marks in. They got to make sure that actually it's not all that they say it is, and there's no evidence and this and that. So this chick is really going to try to gaslight us. And Scott just had it. He was almost fascinated at the fact that she even said that. He said, what reality are you living in? Haven't you been watching him do all of these things? It's unbelievable that these folks come on here. 100% goal and motive is to straight up trash Trump. Now, do you think Creepy Sleepy would have gotten all of these deals done that we're about to revisit? Do you think he would have been able to sit in a room with Pootie and negotiate? He wouldn't even try. He would have said, let this war continue, as whoever was running him would have said, that's right, Mr. President, let's keep sending money and weapons and stuff like that until all the Ukrainians are dead. So, let's see if what she's saying holds up.
Knowledge, the man is solving peace.
India questioned about whether that was actually
it happens on almost a weekly basis. Just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Just acknowledge it, but I can't do that. I'm 100% sold on trying to make Trump look bad, even if he's doing good things. See, and this is where they lose their credibility. When everybody is going to, wait a minute, we see Trump doing good things, but you guys are interpreting those good things as bad things or not really completed. He didn't really do it. So let's see.
And I will also acknowledge that Donald Trump seems to have an affinity for Vladimir Putin in a way. Now, you're not going to get away with calling me a liar. I know you.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody came out and said it. Scott has had it up to here. Instead of just saying, I disagree with that, he just straight up was like, liar. You're lying. That's exactly what she's doing. Lying. If they can't beat Trump with propaganda and all of that stuff, they definitely can't beat him with the truth. They just straight come out and lie. Straight come out and lie. So we better go ahead and check her.
It's like the line They're not lying.
You're lying.
Nobody's lying about anything.
Can we give this man the Nobel Peace Prize, please? Yes, President Donald Trump has just brokered another historic peace deal. What? After more than 30 years of conflict, Azerbaijan and Armenia have just signed a peace deal at the White House. Let's have a look.
Hey, blonde-haired black lady. Blonde-haired CNN black lady. If you're watching, did you not watch this clip right here?
President of the United States.
Yeah.
More than 35 years, Armenia and Azerbaijan have fought a bitter conflict that resulted in tremendous suffering for both nations. They suffered gravely for so many years. Many tried to find a resolution, including the European Union. The Russians worked very hard on it. Never happened.
Never happened.
Sleepy Joe Biden tried, but you know what happened there?
He probably fell asleep. That's what happened there. He probably wouldn't even know who he's in the room with. The Prime Minister of Mexico. I'm here with the Prime Minister of India. Wait, where are you from again? Yeah, that guy. Chaos ensued across the globe under his watch because they knew that the parents were gone. It's like, let's tear up the house, let's fight, have pillow fights and stuff like that. They was acting the fool.
He tried for probably 12 minutes and didn't work out.
Look, the leaders are laughing. They're laughing because it's funny, because it's true. They know it's all true. We all know it was true.
And many other countries tried and they were unsuccessful. But with this accord, we've finally succeeded in making peace.
Yes, Donald Trump has done it again. The man who the media and the broader left told you would start World War III is in fact brokering peace deals across the globe.
What? That's crazy. Now, I sense that liberals would rather the world be in chaos than Trump actually succeed and do good things. That's what they'd rather do, which is going to be coming up in a second when we get into what Trump is doing up in Washington. They would rather see chaos. These liberals would rather see crime, or should I say, violence across the globe and in-house than to see Trump actually bring some type of civility to all of these situations. They'd rather see that. The Democrats, ever since Trump ran, would rather see all kind of horrific things happen to the country so that Trump wouldn't be successful. That's how they're operating. So here we go. Let's continue, though.
In June, it was a peace deal between Rwanda and the Congo, ending decades of devastating conflict between the two neighbours, fighting that has cost thousands of lives.
What?
The violence and destruction comes to an end, and the entire region begins a new chapter of hope and opportunity, harmony, prosperity.
Look at that.
And peace.
Pretty significant event, wouldn't you say? But guess what the assembled media wanted to ask about? Trade negotiations with Canada. I gotta say, Donald Trump wasn't having it.
Why not? Why not Canada, by the way?
Why?
I mean,
because this is about a different subject right now. This is right now actually a much more important subject.
Yeah.
We just ended a war that was going on for 30 years where 6 million people died. So don't ask me a trade question on Canada.
Yeah. Now where's the blonde-haired black lady? That's my question. Yeah, why are all these fools just overlooking his efforts? The fact that he's even trying to do this. I mean, think about this, guys. All of the stuff that's going on around the world or in our country. And he still makes it a part of his priority to look across the globe and say, what conflicts are taking place and how can we possibly bring some of those conflicts to rest? Who does that? What president is going to do this? He could easily say, you know what? I'm so America first that I'm going to ignore all the death and carnage that's going on in other countries. He comes in with the approach, if I can do something, I will. People are probably fighting because they never had anybody to come in and say, hey, why don't y'all stop fighting? Here's a better solution. What if, if it was up to Joe and all of them, they wouldn't even bother. They wouldn't even attempt. They would be looking at ways to expand their power, their control, and globalism. Trump's not even doing this. And saying, now I want to send our troops over there in conflict. He's like, boom, peace, and we're going back. Peace, we're going back to the United States. Matter of fact, we're not even coming over there. Y'all come over here, and we'll go ahead, broker peace, and then you go back home and live your lives. But, the left don't like it. They sweeping down this guy's evil, and yet he's making all these efforts to bring peace across the globe.
Nice. And a month earlier than that, Donald Trump negotiated another peace deal between...
And another thing. Since he's supposed to be so racist, there it is. Why would he want to broker peace between two African nations? Remember, he don't like people of color. He don't like brown and black people and stuff like that. You would think that if he was the white supremacist, white nationalist that he is, he would have sat back and said, let these brothers kill themselves. Like the Democrats do. Like the Democrats do in black ran neighborhoods. That's what they do. Let these black folks continue to shoot each other, kill each other, do all that stuff. We ain't got nothing to do with it. And we won't report that. We won't report that. We're going to let those black folks be sorry. That's what we're going to do. Let's continue.
Two nuclear powers, India and Pakistan, and that led to the government of Pakistan nominating Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize.
What?
In a statement, they said President Trump demonstrated great strategic foresight and stellar statesmanship through robust diplomatic engagement with both Islamabad and New Delhi, which de-escalated a rapidly deteriorating situation.
Now look at that. You got leaders from other countries nominating Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, where's all of the Democrats and stuff like they can't recognize that stuff? They didn't even want to be a part of that. I bet you not one Democrat went to show up for the signing of that. I bet you not one of the Democrats mention these things, celebrates these things, none of that stuff. Yeah. So other folks in other countries, as Trump is doing these things, and they pop up out of nowhere. These peace treaties, we didn't even know he was working on half of them. You're sitting there watching the news, and all of a sudden, today Trump brought these two countries in to sign a peace treaty. You're like, what? Didn't even know he's working on that stuff. So let's continue.
Pakistan said this intervention stands alone as a testament to his role as a genuine peacemaker.
Wow.
And only last month, Trump brokered a peace deal between Thailand and Cambodia.
Man, the hits just keep on coming. Now, I didn't even know that Cambodia and Thailand was even scrapping. This is crazy. Look at all of this mess that Trump is like juggling. He got a couple chainsaws in there, got a couple torches sitting there, a couple Ginsu knives, some machetes, and he's juggling it all. Yep, not dropping the ball. But yet the black blonde lady, she's like, I don't agree with that. That's why Scott had to call her a liar.
Also saw the Cambodian Prime Minister nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Another nomination?
He lauded his extraordinary statesmanship and said this timely intervention, which averted a potentially devastating conflict, was vital in preventing a great loss of lives and paved the way towards the restoration of peace.
Now, what is bizarre about this is these are countries of color. There it is. So obviously, the white supremacists, white nationalists who hates people of color would want to see all of these people just wipe each other out. I mean, that would be a wonderful plan if he was a real white supremacist and stuff like that. I'm quite sure Hitler wouldn't have broke up all these people from fighting because he's probably like, yeah, let them kill each other so we can only have people with blonde hair and blue eyes. Is that right? He would have loved that to happen. But real leaders will look out and say, if I can help, I will. And it has nothing to do with this is a nation filled with folks of color and all of that stuff. This is lives that we're talking about. And most likely these conflicts are resolvable if you got somebody with the will to make an effort to do it. So now another foreign leader nominates Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. We're all of our Americans that's supposed to be doing that. Man, I'm telling you, these political dividers are just, it's unreal when it comes down to making folks compromise their common sense, their morality, all of these things. People just set it aside. And it's really being projected into our society by just greedy, angry Democrat politicians and the fake news. They have people who would, in normal times of sanity, would say, that's good. We got a president who is actually making efforts to bring peace and not war to these other countries. And trying to deal with the crime in our own country, which is a major problem, especially in Democrat-ran cities and stuff.
Can you see a theme emerging here? Trump is the peacemaker. He is no warmonger. He is no neocon. He is not interested in the US engaging in endless wars around the world. But he's also not a reckless isolationist, as some claim. He is using the power of his office to negotiate historic peace deals, just as he negotiated the Abraham Accords during his first term. Which brings me to this latest peace deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia.
Now, notice she has a sober view of this, an accurate view of what Trump is doing. Trump is very balanced when it comes to global issues. Yeah, he sets it up to where people will most likely say, let's get together, listen to what he has to say, because we've watched him long enough to know that he's not up to trying to subvert our country, come in, push ideology like transgender rights. We'll sign a peace treaty with you guys if you guys will have DEI implemented there, and if you can go ahead and do research about the efforts of transgenderism in Pakistan and stuff like that. Yeah, he don't operate like that. He's like, look, man, let your countries keep their culture. Let your countries figure out how to prosper, make your economy better, and stop the squabbling. And you don't have to worry about us coming in and trying to occupy your country, trying to overthrow your leadership, things like that. So now if I'm two countries and I see Trump trying to negotiate a peace deal, what I'm not worried about is them sending in, our secret ops and our CIA and all that stuff to subvert me and probably take me out somewhere. I'm going, you know what? This guy seems very honest and sincere about bringing peace and not globalism. Peace and then bounce. Let me negotiate peace between you two and then let you guys go and run your country. You don't got to worry about us sniffing around and saying, how can we get in over there? How can we get rid of this guy and set up our own guy? So that's what makes Trump so much different than many of our past presidents that even tried to negotiate peace. It's always at what cost? Back then, if I'm a leader in another country and the U.S. might have been saying, let's get together and talk about peace, I'm going, and what else? See, so let's continue though.
Yeah, let's hear from the two leaders here that have been in conflict since the 1980s, these countries.
The 80s?
So really, it's a day which will be remembered by the people of Azerbaijan with a feeling of pride and gratitude to President Trump for his attitude to Azerbaijan, for his vision, for not only for our region. We were exchanging views today, and I said that within several months he managed to put an end to conflicts in Asia, in Africa, and now in Southern Caucasus. What we could not achieve for more than 30 years.
Couldn't achieve it for more than 30 years. But then pops up Trump, the white supremacist, white nationalist, warmonger, and all of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this goes to show you how evil our fake behind news is and our Democrat Party. And you know that all of the dummies out there, they're not watching this stuff. CNN and all of them aren't covering this stuff. They're not talking about this stuff in a good way. In fact, that's why the black lady with the blonde hair had to try to undermine what Scott was saying. Yeah, because see, this stuff goes directly against the narrative that Trump hates people of color. Trump is a warmonger. Trump is a bad negotiator. Trump's losing his mind. He's not wrapped too tight. All of these things, they go against that. And if folks around the country who might just suffer from stage 1 or 2 TDS gets wind of this, they might say, maybe Trump's not too bad. Yeah, under creepy, sleepy, I was concerned that a war might break out at any given second. Any given second. But right now, I feel pretty comfortable with the efforts that this administration is making to bring peace and end to all of these stupid things.
This breakthrough would be simply not have been possible without President Trump's personal engagement and his resolute commitment to peace in our region.
Peace.
There you go. Like I said at the start, give President Trump the Nobel Peace Prize already, please.
Thank you. Give that man the prize. Give it to him, man. Give it to him. Give him that sweet, that funky. What? Give it to him. 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 That sweet, funky. Oh.